life into your old knives. You know that drawer where you put all the knives where they go to die? Because you paid a lot of money for those knives, but they've gone dull on you. And you can't bring yourself to donate them or to throw them away, so you just put them in a drawer, and there they sit, collecting dust. What if we could put a brand new edge on that knife and then go through tomatoes like, okay, I've got to say it, like a hot knife through butter. This is incredible. It's quick, it's easy, it's simple, and it's made by a brand called Chefologist, a brand you'll only find on QVC. Chef Rick Roman is back with us, our special guest. Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you, David.
So we're talking any knife here, Chef, right?
Yeah, any knife, any steel blade in your kitchen can be like brand new again.
And when you say any, you mean straight or serrated?
Straight or serrated. And the key is it's safe and efficient because of suction cup design. So you take this to any smooth countertop, this large suction cup will secure it. So that's different than most of the other sharpeners out there, because most sharpeners, David, you actually have to hold the sharpener and then you have to put the knife near your hand and harm's way. I don't like that. I like the fact that with Chefologist, this suction cup design allows you to simply secure it to any smooth, clean countertop, this giant suction. I push it down, I turn this dial, that is secure now. So what does that mean, David? It's not gonna move. Now, what I love to start off by showing is I'm gonna show you a knife that most people have in their drawer. They go out to prep in the kitchen and they get a dull knife out. And this is what a dull knife does. It tries to cut things. Now, this is a sponge. I cannot even get through a sponge. Notice how this knife is absolutely useless, right? But I can take a blade, no matter how dull it is, go to my Chefologist.
Now, this is really badly dulled. How many times did you go through the sharpener?
Probably 6 to 8 passes per stage. Now, the first stage are tungsten carbide grooves. What are they doing, David? They're literally breaking down metal, taking metal off the edge of the knife. Second stage are diamond honing bars. They're actually starting to re-edge, and you can literally feel it, David, putting the edge back on the knife. Then I have the ceramic polishing bars. When I do this, I finish off the blade. Now, I go back to that sponge. Remember a moment ago, David, we could not cut the sponge. I want you to see something, David. Not only can I cut this sponge, but look at the way
tiny pieces.
Thin cuts, it doesn't tear. This now is like a brand new knife again from a useless dull knife. That's what you can do with Chefologist.
How many of you have knives at home that you spent a lot of money for because you loved it when you bought it, and while it was sharp, it was your favorite knife to use? Then it became dull, and you said to yourself, well, you know, on my next day off, I'll go over to that knife store and sharpen. How's that working out? Because you've had a lot of days off, and you usually end up going to the dry cleaner, to the hairdresser, to the nail tech. Maybe you go to the grocery store, and somehow the knife store never ends up being a part of your errand list. And therefore, the knives stay dull, they stay in a drawer.
That's right.
And they don't get used. This serrated blade now is so sharp it can even tear through the multiple layers of a croissant.
And notice how, because it's sharp, it doesn't tear the croissant. It cuts a perfect slice. And here's the beauty, David. One-handed operation, right? You notice I'm not using two hands. And right on the top of this, I'm going to take this off because it's really important. There's 3 arrows. So we have 3 stages of sharpening. You're going to pull in the direction of the arrow. Lift and pull, not saw back and forth. And you place this on any smooth countertop, David, just that quickly, it won't move. So it doesn't matter if you have a hunting knife, if you have a giant cleaver. Check this out. This is a cleaver, David. You want to talk about a thick, heavy blade? All I have to do is pull it through 4 to 6 times in each stage. And David, every single knife, I don't care what the edge is, if it's stainless steel, look at that. Look, it looks like a razor blade. You see how it's shiny and glistening? That's what every edge in your knife drawer is going to be like now.
Oh, you all caught me drinking water.
Yeah, that's quite all right.
Ray, my director, caught me drinking water.
Now, coated blades. A lot of people ask me, can it do coated blades? Yes, as long as it's a steel blade. Those coated non-stick blades, it doesn't matter. It's going to re-edge the knife. And you know, David, we talk about it all the time. A sharp knife is a safe knife. Why? Because when you go to use a sharp knife like this, I'll show you here, the blade does the work. So all I have to do is gently rock the blade and it gets perfect cuts. When your knife is dull, you use pressure. That's what makes it dangerous. This is what every single knife winds up being like now in your drawer. I always say, get a Chefologist knife sharpener. It's like giving somebody brand new knives.
We have color choices for you. Now, these are all very popular. Remember, you're choosing a color because it makes you smile, not because it does something different. They all do exactly the same job. Here's the red. I also have the gray. Don't forget the black. And this one is the blue. All of these come together. Here's that suction. Well, this one's already down there.
Yeah.
So this is the suction cup on the bottom. So if you've got a smooth, flat, dry surface,
that's right,
you've got all you need to make this hold its place, and be the sharpener you've always needed it to be.
And Dave, I'm going to come back to this. You know, so many people, they try to use what's called a steel. And think about this with a steel. When you take a steel, you're taking a blade and running it. You have to get the perfect angle when you sharpen it, but you're also taking a knife and you could slip and cut your hand. So it's very dangerous and very difficult to do. Now, this is another example. I've gone in kitchens to try to help people prep, and I take a knife out of their drawer and I go to try to cut with it, right? And this is another example of a dull knife. You talk about knives that can't even cut through a sponge, David. I mean, we're talking pressure. See how that's moving? It's not cutting through the sponge. So I take this over to my Chefologist sharpener. It's secure to the countertop, so with one-handed, David, I can take this dull and useless knife. I'm going to pull it about 6 to 8 times because this knife had no edge. That tungsten carbide is literally re-edging. Now those diamond bars are starting to put the sharp edge back on the knife, and then we just smooth it out. And now I take this knife, come back to that sponge a moment ago that we couldn't cut. Now, David, I want to show you something. Not only can it cut it, but it can cut thin, perfect strips without tearing it. This knife is like new again. That's how easy it is to sharpen every knife.
And this is why it's so important. Every knife in your collection, whether it be a straight knife, serrated blade, even scissors can now be sharpened, right?
Scissors. Okay, so we've been doing all knives. The last slot, there's actually a little picture of scissors. So you can take those kitchen shears. And the reason the scissor sharpener is different is because a scissor only has one sharp edge. So there's only one-sided. So you're going to do the same thing, lift and pull in one direction. Now, if you have a pair of scissors that don't come apart like these shears, what you do is you put the the sharpener at the edge of the counter so that you can open the scissors. But this quickly, I've now re-edged these shears so they're going to be like brand new again. So not only every knife in your assortment is going to be like new again, every scissor is going to be like new.
I need to let you know that we are most limited in this blue. So if you're interested in blue, do not wait on the blue. We also have it in the black, and most popular, the gray and the red. Both of these going very quickly. Featured price, but this price and it's easy pay, Mr. Roman, will all expire end of day. Now, it's already 8:10, almost 8:11 p.m. East Coast time. At 11:59 is when we say goodbye to this price and this offer. This is an extraordinary way to breathe new life into an old knife.
Now, this is a pocket knife, so this is a great gift for somebody that maybe there's a hunter or fisherman, because you could take anything from that large chef's knife to a small pocket knife. It doesn't matter the size of the blade, as long as it's steel. And I'm just going to come over here, and I love cutting this grape because I just want you to see, look at this, David. I am going to go through this grape and get the most razor thin cut because the blade is like brand new. I say it all the time, when you and I laugh, a sharp knife is safe, but you know, we get those knives and after a few months they're dull. Most people don't know how to sharpen. This makes it safe and easy because of that suction cup design, because I don't have to hold the sharpener. Anybody can take this, put it on a smooth, clean countertop. This large suction cup is going to keep it secure. David, we've talked about it. Once it's down and secure, it doesn't move. So it doesn't matter what kind of knife. How about one of our great Chefologist coated knives? It's a steel blade and one direction. You're just going to lift and pull one-handed, whether you're lefty or righty. You can simply re-edge and, like you say, I love it, breathe new life back into any knife in your arsenal. And guess what? When a knife is sharp, David, it glides through the food. It doesn't tear at the food. It's safe and easy, whether they're thick or thin slices. Every single time you get that exact result. And that's what I love about it.
This is what makes it so great. We all have dull knives, and you all know the drawer they're in. It's that drawer you don't go into very much.
That's right.
It's what I call where the knives go to die, right? And that knife hasn't died. It just needs a new edge. This is going to breathe new life into your old knives. Straight edge, serrated, even scissors. So all this works out really nicely. Don't miss out on this great sharpener from Chefologist, a brand that you'll only find on QVC. So we're super excited about this. And remember, tomatoes are shade vegetables.
That's right.
The outside is tough. The good Lord knew what he was doing when he made these, because the outside is tough and the inside of the flesh of the tomato is very delicate. You need a sharp knife that will get through the skin, but not tear and mutilate what's inside, because that's where things get delicate, right?
Yeah, and David, I'll say it again. So many sharpeners. Just think about this. I can't even imagine my mother, my sister, anybody trying to hold one of these sharpeners. Guess what? When you go to sharpen with this, this moves. So imagine trying to sharpen a big blade like this and you don't have stability. With Chefologist, it stays secure on the countertop so that you can lift and drag. I mean, anybody can become a professional knife sharpener. If you can have a flat, smooth surface, you can secure this. And now this knife, by the way, is 25 years old. It's like new.
It's from your catering business.
From my catering business, so it's like brand new.
All right, stay on the line here. How many gone now, Brian? Over 1,300 are spoken for with another 700 people on the phone lines. Thank you, Mr. Roman. Always a pleasure,
David,
Chef.
good to see you.
Good to have you back.
Bye-bye.
Big Bite Steve Doss is here tonight. He's got lots of things to update you on, and I'm going to beat the weather by going outside.
Ooh.
Here we go.
First off, a great big congratulations to all of you that picked up the Scrub Daddy Barbecue Daddy Grill Brush. We officially sold out of this one, but do not fear, we got plenty more